to share with you the latest updates regarding SheetAI application. So the first feature which we have is we have created a new function called rangeString to get a range as a string. So what was happening was, if you use the SheetAI function, we go here and let's say what we want to do is like basically get this range, and depending on the range provide the next information. Or maybe you just want a list of these addresses and want to use it inside your prompt. So before, like if you do it directly, for example, I write take names and do something. I'm like just going to take the names like this. Okay, if I do like that, it will not generate a proper response because that value, this A2 and A4, is not properly provided. So you see this Oreo entrance, and if I go ahead and open up my activity, which where you can see what was the prompt made and what was the response. So if I see my latest one, you see the take names. Now this first one was there, A2 to A4, but the others were not provided, right, in the prompt. So how can we provide them properly? So rather than doing that, what we can do is we can use this new function called range string. You see, converts sheet range to string. This is by SheetAI application. So if I provide it like this, and then I make the same query, sorry, provide like that, okay, yeah, and then if I make the same query, okay, now I'll go back to home, click on show activity again, and see, take names, the first name, second, and the third. So this way, what you can do is you can make sure the data you want to provide will be provided correctly. So use this range string function whenever you want to use some data inside your prompt. This also works, for example, if you go for this feedback summarization, sorry, feedback categorization. So before, if we are doing feedback categorization, we need to use the sheet range function, right? SheetAI range function, where you need to provide the example inputs and example outputs. But rather than doing that, what you can do now is you can just say SheetAI, I am input output bot and I provide output based on input. And then I provide range string, providing all this information, and then and equals to comma and this and so I am an input output bot and I provide output based on input. Then I provided the input and output, and then I said I want the output for this. I provided that, and that should work now. So basically you see, like I didn't use the SheetAI range function for providing the input and output. I directly used the SheetAI function, and it was able to provide like this. Now don't worry, we have a solution for this. So first thing first, the compatibility, it's working, but it's also adding this additional things like usability, heart. We don't want that much. So now we have another update for this, which is that we have updated the maximum words to response token. What does that mean? Basically, if you check out SheetAI function, there is the second parameter which is called response token. Response token is basically the amount of token you want the response to be generated with. So if you are not aware about tokens is basically how OpenAI calculates the cost and pricing and everything. 1000 token is equals to 750 words. So what you can do is you can provide the token count, how many amount of tokens you want to use for the prompt, so for the response. So I just want a single word response, so I'm just going to provide it like 2 or 3. Now the reason for 2 or 3 is basically sometimes some words can take more token, some words might take not that many. So I'm just going to go with 3, or let's say just go with 4. If I hit enter with that, and give it a second. Now you see it will provide a single word response. So this way you can actually handle, okay, I just want this much amount of response, so I'll provide this response token count, and you will be able to, sorry, you will be able to get a correct output and the correct amount of output you need. Then we have that for the model. So basically, SheetAI by default uses davinci 003, which is the latest model. But if you want to use other models, for example, this particular classification might not require the latest model, which is the best, right, in AI. So if you go to the models page over here, beta.openai.com/talks model GPT-3, there are documentation for all these models and what they are good for. So this davinci model is complex intent, cause, effect, summarization for audience, language translation. So this curie model, which is actually cheaper than davinci, can do the language translation, complex classification. So classification, you see, this classification could be easily done with this second model, which is curie. Now, if you go for the pricing, let's just search for that, OpenAI pricing. You can see there is a big difference between curie pricing and the davinci pricing. So it's much more affordable to do this in a long spreadsheet with curie. So now the question occurs, how can we use the other model, right? This is just, we provided the prompt, we provided the response. Now, the next thing we want to provide is the model. So what we do is we will just copy the same, paste it here. Now, if you go to the function, just click on the function, you'll see we have response token, which we have provided. Then there is a creativity. Creativity is basically a temperature parameter, which is provided by OpenAI, which helps you tell the AI how creative you want it to get. So for example, this particular use case, we don't want it to get too much creative. It's just a simple classification the AI need to do. So I'll just go with the default value of 0.4. So when you don't provide any value, this is the default value which is going to the API. Now comes the model. See, so to provide this model, there is a long string you need to provide, text dash davinci or like whatever the model is according to like that. So to simplify that, what I have done is all you need to provide is just the character. So if I want to use the curie model, I'll just say C and I'll hit enter. Now meanwhile it's generating, I'll go back here and tell you. So if you want to use this ADA, just say A. If you want to use babbage, this model, just say B. If you want to use curie, just say C. And if you want to use davinci, C. So you can see the pricing is here. Now again, I'm providing way more. I can just go with 3 here. Okay. Features is like one word, I guess. Token. Yeah, so you can just go with one here and see the responses. Moving on to the next, we have added a help section to the website. If you visit sheetai.com.app and click on help section, you will find all these different issues people have faced. And if you're facing the same, just find the solution directly here. No need to wait for the response from the support. If it's not listed over here, just feel free to send us a message in the live chat. We have added a link to the live chat via the app itself. So if you go to the main sidebar, like if you launch the application from extensions, SheetAI launch, you'll find the link to the live chat over down here. You can just click on SheetAI app live chat support, and you can go over here and start ask any question or any feedback you need. I hope you find this video helpful. I'll be publishing more videos on use cases with this particular new functions and new uses of this model. And if you have any other request, make sure to comment them down below. I'll see you in the next one.